Now that LeBron is back home and the three-team trade that made Kevin Love a Cavalier is official, let's take a moment to reflect on his recruiting skills. Once he signed, the Cavs were able to acquire Mike Miller, James Jones, Sean Marion, and of course Kevin Love. The next question for the team is, can they add Ray Allen to the mix? All right, Stephen A. What do you think, and we've said on the show before that he is the general manager as well as the player. What do you think has changed about LeBron?
His maturity level is elevated significantly. There's no doubt that he's not the same guy. He's grown. He was an individual. He was single. He's married now. He's a father. When he moved out to South Beach, the only way that the girlfriend was coming is if she was the fiancée and ultimately the wife. And we all know, and you talk to anybody that knows anything about LeBron, they just rave about this girl. She seems to be an incredibly, incredibly special woman. So the combination of those things, along with Dwayne Wade initially helping him in terms of just feeling, you know, what it was like to have a family, what it was like to be a part of all of that. Not just the wife, Dwayne Wade, but the wife's parents as well. You had all of that going on. The crew, Rich, Randy, Maverick, they're all a part of it as well. And we see now, because even though they make concerted efforts, as well they should, to really separate themselves and show that they have their own individual talents, that they'd like to be recognized. We see Rich Paul growing in the agency business. He's the one representing Eric Bledsoe right now, for example. You see Randy, and he's doing some things, and he's going to be doing some things with the personnel department, from what I'm being told, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, Maverick's really making a name of himself for himself in the marketing industry. You just see LeBron being all about business. And I think that what's transpiring is that it's one thing to have a wonderful personality and to be seen as class personified and to be the kind of guy that guys want to play with. Yeah. But it's another thing when they realize the benefits they could potentially reap, not just from success on the basketball court, but what they see LeBron doing as a businessman. It's a contagious effect. It's something that you're witnessing right now. There is no basketball player getting paid the money that LeBron James is getting paid off the court. This dude is doing it. And when you see that kind of stuff transpiring, you have a vision of what life could be like beyond the court of play, because they're witnessing what LeBron is doing, and he's not hesitant to espouse his knowledge and his connections with those who are in his inner circle. So everybody witnesses the benefit that comes from it, and it's almost like it's a business decision. It's not just about basketball. It's about business, and apparently being friends with LeBron James and potentially being teammates with LeBron James is very, very good business.
Profitable.
I agree with and appreciate everything you just said. And I hark back to some of those cold nights in Cleveland. And I think of the times, remember the pictures they used to take during introductions, where they do the
playing around,
silly, and it was juvenile to me. It was kid stuff. And it didn't sit well with veterans around the league. And then there was too much chest beating, and there were some three-point barrages where he would take 12, 13 threes in a game, and he was shooting 30, low 30 percentage. And all that went away after the climax of all that immature behavior, which was the decision on this network when he went to South Beach. I'm taking my talents to South Beach, and I still think he will forever owe a debt of gratitude to Dwayne Wade for teaching him how to be a professional, as in a true superstar, a leader of a franchise, a face of a franchise. And he grew up in Miami, as you just pointed out. And this rebirth it's astounding to watch, because as Brian Windhorst, in the supreme piece that he did for SportsCenter, and he also has written about this for ESPN.com, it's just sensational stuff, pointed out how many times he got snubbed by free agents in Cleveland. Remember, we're talking about Cleveland, Ohio here. It is still in the Rust Belt. Yeah. And he's become now the Pied Piper of Cleveland, Ohio. After he couldn't get Ray to sign there, we're going back to like 05. Michael Redd wouldn't sign there. Trevor Ariza said no. And then they tried to do a sign and trade for one Chris Bosh. He said, no, I'm going to Miami with Dwayne Wade. And then we know the rest of that story. But to me, the turnaround, where everybody now wants to go to Cleveland, Ohio,
destination,
is just unbelievable to me. And it speaks to all the maturity you talked about, where he's become the consummate teammate and leader. I didn't see this coming, and it's going to culminate today with the press conference with Kevin Love.
Well, what we're really going to see as well is that LeBron James is going to have an incredible impact on future stars in the game in terms of how they go about their business.
Yep.
Because when you witness the kind of thing that you're witnessing, you know, remember, we saw Kobe and Shaq get the Karl Malone, Gary Payton. We didn't see that with Jordan because it wasn't necessary because he had Scottie Pippen. But it's a different age. And stars now, if you want to get players to play for you, LeBron James is providing the blueprint.
Well said, gentlemen. LeBron James, the rebirth, as you discussed it. As coming up next, we're going to talk about Mark Sanchez.